Okay, we are here with Bowling Green State University women's golf head coach Stephanie Young, and we are coming off of the 2011 Falcon Invitational and looking forward to the 2011 Mid-American Conference Championships. And first, let's review the weekend. Of course, it was a very special weekend for the women's golf program, Coach. The tournament was renamed in honor of former coach Dolores Black. And the team had a pretty good finish. Of course, only 18 holes were able to be played because of weather-related issues. But the team finished sixth with a total of 335. Overall, what were your impressions about the weekend?
I think, Dolores Black's night was just spectacular. We had a wonderful night for the program to recognize not only Dolores, but everyone's contributions, administratively, to current players, to past players and coaches who came. So it was just a really great night to celebrate BGSU women's golf and to celebrate what Dolores has meant to the program. And then on the competition side of things, I just couldn't have been more pleased with our team's efforts. The girls gave it everything that they had in not ideal conditions. They played, it was the most mentally tough, aggressive, just true grit that they showed in their performance this weekend. So I couldn't be prouder. Of course, we would have liked to have had that last day of play. I really felt confident that we could have moved up the leaderboard, but as the tournament operator also, it just came, we played as much as we could, and then at a point the gusts just got too great where it became unplayable. So we wanted the field to have, all the teams to have a chance to compete, but it just was not possible. Okay,
now for those for those fans who might not be privy to some details like that, I mean, what was the process there in determining that Sunday's play could not continue? Because obviously it was different from Saturday, where Saturday you had wind and rain.
Yes.
Sunday was just really bad winds, 30-40 miles an hour, but sunny skies. So.
Sure. Well, just when it becomes unplayable in the course in a wetness, say where the rain would have been the condition to call it on Saturday, because there was a lot of casual water, and when the golf course just becomes unplayable in the terms of precipitation type thing. But for the wind, it's really not a mile per hour gauge, but when balls get blown off the green when they're at rest, those type of situations. And there's a games committee, there's a rules committee, Toledo District Golf, and so those committees meet and you continue to evaluate the golf course. And throughout the day, there was no unplayable situations that occurred up until the point where we called it. So some players even got their rounds in, but the leaders were on 9 and balls were blowing off the green, and so it came to a point where we just had to call it.
Okay, and now, I mean, how were the Bowling Green athletes competing on Sunday? We don't obviously have any official scores
Sure.
for them, but what were your impressions out on the course?
Well, for the pole position that I had of the day, I was coaching Lauren Glue. We had played number 11, 12, and 13 together. She had played 10 at par, so she was 1 under when I left her going off 13 green. As far as I know, a lot of our players were really playing well, but it's not so much the score to me, Matt. I just cannot stress enough how proud I am of the girls. They were completely focused, no excuses. And it just makes their coach really proud, and I made sure to let them know that after I had to call it.
Well, of course, I mean, you never really want those kind of weather conditions if you can avoid it, but the mental toughness that requires. I mean, I guess in a way, looking at it glass half full, leading into a tournament as important as the MAC championships, it's good to have that.
Sure.
Wouldn't you say?
I think that we have a great mix of things to take into the MAC championship with us. I think we have tangible scores from EKU tournament, and I think we have great chemistry and confidence coming from off our home tournament. I think we did everything that we could in the elements that we had, and so I think you put all that together, and I think we're really gelling, we're peaking at the right times, performance-wise, as well as all those intangibles that make a team go. And so I feel very excited going into this MAC championship weekend.
Okay, no, briefly, just going back to the Dolores Black honor. What was the decision-making process going into that? Because Dolores, of course, was coach at one of the most important times, not only in BG golf history, but in women's intercollegiate sports history. Period. She was coach when Title IX was introduced, and so what was the decision-making process going into that?
Sure, I think we really tried to recognize the past and take a look just over the last 4 or 5 years. Really dig in and reconnect with past coaches, with alumni, and really get them to be a part of their BGSU women's golf program. And as we started going through the records and different things, ideas were named out. Coach John Piper is honored by having his name associated with the men's golf tournament. So we wanted to try to take a look at that. And, Dolores from 69 to 76 had a lot of players go to nationals, won some team titles. And I just really think that she had all the characteristics, and we were just really proud and excited to find the day finally come to announce that we were going to name it after her.
Okay, now looking forward to the MAC championships. Yesterday, you told me that the lineups were due today, so I'm going to kind of put you on the spot and ask, have you determined this weekend's lineup yet?
We have, and it'll consist of Bailey Arnold. At number 1, we'll have Lauren Glue. One of our seniors at the number 2 slot. Amy Ruthenberg will play 3. Marissa Glue will play 4. And Paula DiFrancesca will round out the team at 5. Okay.
Now, Bailey, Lauren, and Amy have pretty much been a part of every lineup this year. Bailey, of course, Bailey and Lauren are the top 2 in terms of scoring average. And then, and Amy has, provided a really solid third. But the other 2 positions, have kind of varied from week to week. So what were your thoughts going into this week as far as those last 2 spots and why you selected Marissa and Paula?
Yeah, great question. I think, it's a good and bad situation for a coach. Where the good is that we have so much depth that truly any of the 7 girls are competing for that spot. And you're right, that back end, we were looking for some to put some muscle in that back end, and we've had some competitive situations. We've had some competition between those 4, and with looking at all of that, as well as the intangibles of the confidence, the experience, all of those different things. Marissa's really stepped up her game in a few areas, and Paula's really got a wealth of experience as far as a competition goes as a collegiate golfer, and just seemed like those 2 are going to be the best mix for us at the back end.
Okay, now of course you only take 5 to the MAC champion. There's no individual play, so one of the things about the MAC championship really is, in order to finish highly, you have to have 5 golfers, kind of, working as a team, because obviously, one of your top 4 is bound to have a lesser round or 2, in there. So, what gives you the confidence that, this group of 5 can provide what you need to, to vault to a place in the MAC championships where you guys haven't been in the past?
Yeah, I think all along it's been the 7 of them and 1 of me, and we've talked about that we're the 8 strong, and it truly doesn't matter, at least in this terms of speaking, who goes on the team. I think it's the fact that the 7 of them have prepared each other well, where when we send 5 out on the floor, on the course, that all of them have given each other the right tools to be prepared at the tournament. So like I said, I think we've got the scores from EKU, the toughness from the BG tournament, and we're rolling in the right direction just in time for Max.
Now, this will be the 2nd time that you played on the course there in Nashport this season. The first came at the end of October. Lauren finished in the top 20, but otherwise the tournament didn't really go as well as I think the team would have liked. The team finished 9th out of the 9 teams that were there. So what do you think the team took away from that first tournament, and what do you think is going to be different about this time?
I think, challenges and us not quite getting the result that we wanted the first time, I think you're able to learn from those. And I think the more times you put yourselves in competition with where you want to be, you're better prepared for it the second time. So I think we know what we need to do to correct maybe the mistakes that we made playing the course. We've got those things, the strategies adjusted there, and I think we've picked up more confidence along the way. You know, we came off, the last time we came off that performance at Akron where, you know, our confidence, our games were a little lower, and now we're going in with, we've played some tournaments at EKU and here at home where our confidence is higher. So I think, you know, those combinations, playing the course a little bit differently, going in with a higher confidence level than we did before, I think that helps. And then competing against the MAC teams, you know, like Ohio and Toledo and Northern Illinois, I think that'll help too.
Okay, now what's the schedule going to be like for the team this week? When do you leave for Nashport, and then what are the specific format for the weekend?
We will leave on Wednesday evening, and then Thursday's a practice round. Those are all planned out. And then Friday we'll play 18 holes. We are in the middle wave. It's towards the morning, I think 9 o'clock-ish. And then it'll be paired by score after that. But we'll play 18 Friday, 18 Saturday, and then 18 Sunday.
All right. Well, live scoring is going to be available
Yes.
For all our fans. You can access that through bgsufalcons.com. And I believe we're going to have some pictures and video possibly after the fact. So fans should look forward to that. And then I guess we will talk with you next week to wrap up the season and look forward to 2011, 2012. I guess it's kind of hard to believe that we're already at that point, but here we are.
Yeah, 141 days down and 3 days to go. And also, I just want to thank you on this video, Matt. Matt Daly, it's always on the other side of this camera. Thank you so much for all that you've done for our team and our program and the fans. And I would also remind them to look on the recaps of the Falcon Invite. There's awesome photo galleries, and there's some great video of honoring Dolores that people have been watching, and if you haven't seen it, you should.
Yeah, I think we have nearly an hour's worth
Yes.
of video, including a half hour there with the Dolores Black ceremony. And, you know, being there, that was definitely an emotional,
Yes.
you know, ceremony.
It was
and,
great.
I know Dolores is very happy,
Yes.
you know, with that, and I think just the entire, you know, BG Athletics family,
Yes.
you know, is very proud, you know, of what's been done and what's to come. So
I agree. So thanks a lot.
well, thank you, Coach Young, and we will see you next week. Good luck this
All right.
weekend.
Thank you.